Yesterday, for those who don't know it, Danny, marked 7 years on from Manchester City completing the signing of Kevin De Bruyne. Now, what a player he has been, what a player he is, what a player, no doubt, he will continue to be. But of course, it wasn't always like that. This was Pep on the 7-year anniversary and some of the negative comments that surrounded his original signing of him.
Everything is open to talk and to say his opinion. We have to accept it. In the good things we are good, in the bad things we are bad, and the people maybe didn't know him, and that's why the haters, they are open to do it. We should show on the TV. You see how he plays, define Kevin perfectly for himself the way he plays, not necessarily to talk about his incredible talent, his work ethic, and his commitment with the club, with the mates, with everyone. He's the vice-captain already, so there's no doubt about that. So this type of players, they are too good. You have to watch it, what they do, not necessarily words. Just how is Kevin? Watch the games, and you will discover him.
So, it begs, I was about to say it begs a couple of questions here. How rare are second chances in football? And is one man's trash another man's treasure? Because it wasn't always like this for Kevin De Bruyne, because you will remember, under Jose Mourinho, he was at Chelsea, and it very definitely didn't work out there. Things didn't work out the way that Mourinho had hoped for with De Bruyne, and De Bruyne didn't have the best of times, far from it, under Mourinho at Chelsea. This was Mourinho, here on talkSPORT, a year ago, giving his version of events as to why Kevin left Chelsea.
So I arrive at my second spell at Chelsea, and we go to Asia to play some matches and to train. And Kevin was supposed to come with us in a little group of players that should leave on a loan, was supposed after the Asian tour to leave on a loan. He impressed me so much that I made the decision, I don't want this kid to go on loan, I want this kid to stay. And first match of the season, we played at home against Hull City, and he started the first match of the Premier League. Second match, we go to Old Trafford, and after this, he come to me and he says, I want to play every match, I want to play every minute. And the kid that was supposed to go on loan was not even happy to stay and to grow up in there, and to be an ended product in there. So he put by himself a lot of pressure to leave. He wanted to go to Germany, where he was previously on loan, and he was so happy developing in the Bundesliga. And his decision was to go, and he put huge pressure on that, which worked very, very well for him. And in the end, Chelsea sold him, and the story is there.
That was almost masterful, wasn't it? I mean, he really created himself a whole bunch of wriggle room there, Josie, did he not? By saying, it was De Bruyne. He came to me, I wanted to play every game. I want to play every game. No, you can't do that. Oh, I've got to go then.
I think there's a degree of truth in this. If you look, there's lots of examples of young players becoming really frustrated with not playing and thinking they're ready and they're better, and they want to move. Take a step back to go forward, if you like. And it sounds like he had the confidence in himself. I want to play. He had a taste of it. I want to play. Pogba, United, he wanted to play. Ferguson, no, you're not ready to play. So if you want to leave, go. And also there's an obligation, nothing legally binding, of course, from a decent manager to look after young players and give them. So, for example, Jose, they're talking about sending him out on loan, give him game experience. But when you've got, and depending who the agent is with and how robust they are in their arguments, when you've got a talent like De Bruyne, you know you can get a certain amount of money for him because other people want him, because he's desired, he's wanted, he's a talented young player. He's also at a team, Chelsea at the time, who had established world superstars, internationals, so he probably wasn't going to play every game. And they've decided to let him go. And then it's not like...
He surely must wish Danny had held on to him. Deep down.
Yeah, but of course, because he's turned into the best midfielder in the world. But would his development have changed? Would he still be what he is now if he hadn't? The journey might not have been the same.
I think it's an artistic license, because you can equate this to Phil Foden. Well, he didn't go because the manager probably had the correct word in his ear. And if you've got a young player walks into your office and has the audacity to tell you he wants to play every single minute, then A, you're going to admire that as a manager, B, you're going to probably acquiesce to some of his thinking, and B, you're going to tell him he's going to play every minute if he's
Two
worth it.
Bs, we could do a C if you want.
So he's going to be in a situation where he's going to be told he can play every week as long as his performance tells it. I've also seen situations with players that used to play for me that went to Chelsea that played under Jose Mourinho, and Mourinho had a particular perspective on Victor Moses, and he preferred to play Oscar. Oscar was established Brazilian footballer in his mind, and Oscar was an easy go-to. And don't forget, when Mourinho came through the door on a second time round, he went to the go-to established names. So De Bruyne would have been lower down the pecking order. Victor Moses the same. Oscar ends up in China. Victor Moses ends up in Benitez's team, and then Conte's team wins the Premier League with them. So I do think there's lazy management about this, and I do think there's artistic licence in what Jose has said, and I do think there's probably somewhere in the middle is some truth about the player was pushing the envelope. And I imagine it's the agent that was saying he's going to go out, he's going to go out, he's going to go out, he's going out. And Chelsea had the opportunity, and the manager had the opportunity to see a bigger vision. If this boy is that good that he got your attention, and then that good enough in terms of his own mind to come in your office, I know most football managers would have paid particular attention to that.
There's one unique factor in this, that Chelsea Football Club was one that was based on a turnstile kind of philosophy.
Jose Mourinho doesn't want to invest time in developing players.
I agree.
Jose Mourinho wants to take them off the production rank and put them in a plug and play and go.
Yeah, for his own benefit and
his own benefit.
But if you look at Lukaku and Salah also at Chelsea, letting them two go, not just De Bruyne.
Yeah,
it's Chelsea's the consistent
good previous
team.
year though, hasn't he?
Yeah, but this is because Chelsea. Every manager who goes to Chelsea knows he's got 5, or did under Roman, knows they've got 5 minutes. So you want the finished article. So there is a degree of the club's philosophy of demanding success dictating what.
And there is some resonance in that. And I mean, we're not going to disappear into the narrative that you'll quite happily dance down, which is Mourinho is a dinosaur and his days have gone.
I'm not
because I still think he is a very good manager, and everyone makes mistakes.
My feeling is De Bruyne
fell apart when he was in here.
But I did not. I slipped over the saliva of your dribble when you saw him coming down the corridor.
You don't need to defend yourself. You do not need to defend yourself.
What it does show, though, Danny, on a serious note, that De Bruyne was quite right to have such self-belief.
Well, I suppose it's easy having self-belief when you've got such amazing talent. But my thinking with De Bruyne is, because looking at him, what he is as a footballer, is that whatever journey he chose,
he'd have been successful in.
He would still be what he is now. He's that good.
Yeah.
It's just a wonderfully naturally gifted footballer who sees all the pictures.
Our second chance is rare at this level in the game. I mean, this effectively was a second chance given to him by himself.
Yeah, I think they are.
Yeah.
Why do you see it as a second chance?
What he's talking about is players leaving. I think what you mean is simplistic terms, is leaving a big club and having another chance at it.
Absolutely.
Yeah. It doesn't.
Okay.
Because the perception is it didn't work out for him at Chelsea, and it didn't.
Well,
but he.
How young was he when he was at Chelsea?
He was young.
Yeah. So I mean, really. Would we have had that perception of him? I mean, he was beneath the radar. No one would have had that perception of him, really, would they? They'd have just seen him going on a journey. And that journey ended up at Manchester City. And, once he was in Chelsea's reserve team, like Mohamed Salah. And the onus would have been, what a bunch of clowns Chelsea are letting all... Because that's the backstory, isn't it? Salah's gone, De Bruyne's gone, Lukaku gone, had to be brought back. Yeah. And people look at it like they do with Pogba and say, how did you come out of his system? And you end up paying for him to come back. And the interesting framing of the conversation is one man's trash is another man's treasure. Well, styles make fights, don't they? Timing is everything. And, on a very small level, from my experiences at Palace, Birmingham didn't want Andrew Johnson and wanted to buy Clinton Morrison. Andrew Johnson comes to Palace on a free transfer as a make-weight for Clinton Morrison, ends up playing for England.
Yeah. I remember being in Brussels speaking to De Bruyne's father, Herwig De Bruyne, who said he just had such massive belief in himself.
Yeah, top players
that
do,
he
don't they?
refused to fail.
Top players do.
And that they were so proud of him for doing that. As I'm proud of you. And you. It's 12 noon.
Jim White and Simon Jordan. Monday to Friday mornings from 10 on AM, on DAB, via the talkSPORT app and on your smart speaker. talkSPORT.